Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise with Anwar Al-Assas and myself, Ahmed Badr here at the Sea Scout Movement headquarters in Giza. Dear viewers, we're going to now be talking about Egyptian tourism, that vital key industry to the Egyptian economy and to the lives of Egyptians, and unconventional ways of promoting tourism. Within the framework of the People to People campaign, one of the pillars of the axis of promotion and revitalization of the structural reform program for the development of the tourism sector, which aims to modernize the promotion mechanisms to keep pace with modern global trends, and in light of the Ministry of Tourism's endeavor to present Egypt to the world not only as a contemporary tourist destination but also highlight the diversity, the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism launched the first promotional film for the People to People campaign produced by the ministry in partnership with the international company Beautiful Destinations, in order to shed light on the different Egyptian faces, the tourist aspects of Egyptian culture, Egyptian food, and many activities through different models of the Egyptians. And we are very glad here on Nile Cruise to have with us Mr. Ahmed Badr, tourist expert. Thank you very much, Mr. Badr, for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you with us, sir.
Thank you very much. It's always my pleasure to be with you and with all the audience.
Thank you,
Mr. Ahmed, it's a pleasure, of course, to have you with us today. And
Rana, before we start the discussion with Mr. Badr, we're going to be watching the movie, the promotional.
The unconventional.
Yes, the
people to people.
Yes.
Okay.
Executed by the Ministry of Tourism. It's a 3-minute film. Let's watch it and come back here.
Mr. Ahmed, we just watched a video about the People to People campaign, and of course it is one of the non-traditional ways that the Ministry of Tourism and the tourism sector in general began to use for the outcome of Egyptian tourism. Your perspective and your motto on this?
Well, during the beginning, Mr. Muhammad said tourism is key to the Egyptian lives. So it's a good thing that travelers come to Egypt to see the Egyptian lives, not just the Egyptian monuments and the Egyptian beaches and the Egyptian cities. Now there's a big trend around the world called people seeing, not just sightseeing. So that means that travelers will go around the world to see how locals live, how they eat, how's their daily lives. This is what is one of the new trends now in tourism around the world, which is very good, something very good actually, that the Ministry of Tourism began to do this people-to-people campaign. So travelers will only not just coming to see, of course, the pyramids and the museum and all our famous monuments all around Egypt, but also to see the people. Egyptian people, they are known that they're always smiley, they're nice, they're kind, they treat guests good, in a good way. So this is one of the things that travelers like about us. This is one of the things that makes people come back again. They don't come back to see the monuments again. No, they come back because they had a good experience with the locals, with the hotel staff, with the people in the streets, with the guides, with the merchants, with everybody. So, and so many people, they ask when they come to have a local experience, like an Egyptian home dinner, or they go out to the countryside to see how the countryside people live. And it's becoming very trendy, especially the Egyptian home dinner thing, where they go and they have dinner with a true Egyptian family and see how they live, especially if they have kids, both sides.
Yeah.
This is becoming very, very a nice thing to see how we live, so both cultures can understand each other.
And this, sir, was witnessed very much at the time of the Afghan, when everyone came from all over the world, and at the end they hailed the Egyptian people in person, and the means that the Egyptian people meet all foreigners that came to attend this very special event that took place in Egypt, of course, and it was a turning point, of course, in Egyptian history.
Talking about the African Cup of Nations,
Yes,
right?
of course, the Afghan. I said the Afghan.
Exactly, yes. You have so many journalists and people came to see the Afghan, and especially I remember a journalist from South Africa. He was like crazy with Egyptian people, and he was just all his tweets and his posts on Facebook and all his social media pages. It was all about Egyptian people. I'm their brother now. He was dressing in a galabiyas, and it was really a good
It's
thing.
really touching, huh?
Exactly, yes. Because this is how the interaction should be, not just okay, buildings are important, of course, monuments are important, of course, but what makes a country is nicer or better than others
Different.
are the people.
Right.
Different are the people.
Mr. Badr, I'm really glad that you're mentioning this, because it seems that Egyptian culture is dominant. When foreigners come to Egypt, be it Africans, some other Arabs, or even some Europeans or Americans or Asians, they become Egyptians if they stay. Entre parenthèses, of course. I mean, but they learn a lot about Egypt, so they come to speak a little bit of Arabic, to act like Egyptians, to laugh like Egyptians, to eat like Egyptians. They seem to embrace our culture, especially since Rana mentioned the African Cup of Nations. The number of African players that came to play in the Egyptian Football League, for instance, for over the years, over the past decades, many of them have opted to stay in Egypt. And many of them, when you see them now or talk to them now, they've become Egyptians, really. So talk to us about that, and how really influential or dominant is, or appealing is the Egyptian personality and the Egyptian culture to foreigners in general, and maybe Africans in specific.
Well, I can say Egyptian culture and Egyptian people, they are known with warmth. So this is not something you can find anywhere. I've been to some other countries, and they're nice, they're glamorous and lights, but they don't have the warmth we have. They don't have the friendly relationship we have. They don't have the smiley faces and the willingness to help. So all these things makes people who are visiting Egypt, or like you said, the players who came and played in Egyptian league, most of them they stay, or even if they leave for any reason to go and play for other club overseas, they always come back to live or to visit. Many of them. I don't
Sure.
remember names right now, but I know, and I guess um, we have one of the coaches in the Afghan. I think he was playing in Zamalek club,
Yeah.
and he was very happy to be back.
Amuniki, Emmanuel
Yes,
Amuniki,
exactly.
of course, who
Yes.
played for Zamalek in
I
Portugal.
have to say, I'm
When
not
it
that,
comes to
soccer.
football and sports,
Yeah.
Mohammed is very specific and
There is a passion for it, yeah, because
yes,
It
yes,
is,
yes, he
yeah.
has this.
It's a passion.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed, can we go back again to the people-to-people campaign? And I'd like to know your opinion in the use of unconventional methods to attract tourists in Egypt. What do you think?
Well, the tourism now worldwide is going in a different direction. It's not culture tourism as it used to be. It's not entertainment. Of course, it's still a big chunk, but
You've been stressing on the trend. You said more
exactly.
than
The
once.
people
There is a
seeing,
trend. People
even now we
people
have
see.
food tourism.
Mm.
People travel all the way, all the world, to try different cuisines, and we have countries that they are known with their cuisines and their restaurants and their chefs, and countries now they are doing campaigns to attract these people to come and try their cuisines, their foods, their menus. It's becoming a trendy thing. You'll find people travel all the way to Japan just to try the real sushi, or to Italy just to try the real pizza. And we just had a nice report on BBC a while ago, I think 2 months ago or something, or last month I believe, about Egyptian falafel, طعمية, and they are the best in the world. And they were talking about it like, people, you have to try and go to Egypt and try the real Egyptian falafel. It's different and it's healthy and it's vegetarian, which is another trendy thing going around the world. So why not? This is something we need to get used of. The entertainment tourism, or concerts, and we witnessed during the past month some superstars concerts in Alamein city in the north coast, with Yanni and Jennifer Lopez, and a famous rap
And Ross also was
Russ,
there.
yes, this is him. He's very famous with especially the youth. Exactly.
I think the younger generation, younger than you.
Exactly.
Mm.
And I just saw a report with him on CNN, which I saw so many very positive reports about
Yes, Ross
tourism to
was
Egypt.
really impressed actually. Yes,
Exactly. He was really
was.
impressed with the country. He was really impressed that he had this kind of audience came. He was surprised that 8,000 people attended his concert in New Alamein city. So all these things are adding to our tourism portfolio. You have countries that all they do is just concerts or DJs, or this is one of the main things that attract tourists from all over the world. And even in New Alamein city, which is, for me, this is the dream.
Yes, out of the box. When we come to discuss the new
Exactly.
Alamein city, what's your motto, and what do you think it's gonna be adding to tourism as a city that is under construction now? And of course, as we all know, that the minister, the minister and the entire ministry actually goes. The cabinet
Exactly.
makes its meetings every Wednesday over there at the New Alamein city. What do you think, sir?
For me, this is a dream came true because the North Coast is one of the most beautiful places you can ever go to, with the
Yes.
sea and with the nature, but we only use it for 2 months throughout the year. So we spend billions of pounds over there, and we just use it for 2 months.
Yeah.
For-
The hot
with
summer
this,
months.
exactly. With this city, you will be there throughout the year. They have the universities, schools. It's a city. It's a big city. Hospitals, everything, places to work, places to stay. So people will, and there's this big amusement park, which will be. They just signed a contract for it. It's some kind of an international amusement park on a huge scale that will be built over there. So definitely all these things will attract new tourists. If you look on the other side in Europe, European Riviera, French Riviera or Italian Riviera, they work throughout the year.
Right.
365 days a year they work.
Well, actually,
they have attractions throughout the year. So, and we have the nicest water. So we should be the ones who are working throughout the year.
Actually, the winter over there in Alexandria or in the North Coast is beautiful. The
is.
winter is amazing there, but you're right. It seems that maybe the older generations, Mr. Badr, the older generations here in Egypt, they appreciate Alexandria in the winter. But I don't. But we have to.
Personally, I do.
Yeah. We're not going to say that you're from the older generations, but I'm talking about maybe the the elderly. But anyway, Mr. Badr, I'm not surprised that the trend now. You've really stressed on that. And I thank you for that. That the people-to-people or people seeing is a global trend now. I'm really not surprised, because if I personally think about the countries I've visited or the places I've been to, the first thing that comes to my mind really personally is the people that I've met. It's not
Exactly.
the places that I've visited, it's the people and the food. So I'm not, again, really surprised.
Exactly.
I'm not surprised. But how can we make best use of this new trend? Are we ready? Are we, do we still have to prepare more? How are we faring?
Well, this is an ongoing thing. It's a never-ending story, with the tourism and how to get more and how to promote it more. It's never ends.
and continue to develop and meet the demand.
Exactly.
of the
Even if
market.
we have all the world's
Yeah.
famous monuments.
There's always room for improvement.
Exactly. And there always competition.
Yeah.
So you have to improve yourself, always. You have to improve your infrastructure, you have to improve your knowledge, you have to improve your marketing campaigns, everything. And one of the most important things are you have to improve the knowledge of the tourism, with the people. So they have people. I mean, people outside of the tourism industry, they have to understand the importance of tourism. They have to understand how to deal with the tourist, which is very easy. All it takes is just deal with him as he's your guest at home. Be nice, be smiley. You don't push anything. This is the least thing everybody can do. Even the people working in tourism industry, they have to know this. Don't push. Serve with a smile. Serve with an experience. Serve. Just to serve, just because this client, he's not a client, he's your guest, and he can bring you back other guests. So this is for your own benefit, by the way.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed, back again to the film that we watched, of course, at the beginning of our interview, and is the core of our interview. Actually, the film produced not only is not only produced for foreigners, but also for the Egyptian people to devote the importance of hospitality and to deal with a tourist?
Um Again, the movie is a very clever step to be done. It shows the Egyptian people, not, of course, with the background are the sites, the monuments, the sea and the monuments, but in front are the people. You know, the people who are serving you, the people you will see in the streets, the people of Egypt, and again, to make this much better campaign, and I know that the Ministry of Tourism started to do started to give courses to the people who are working in the tourism sector to improve their skills, to improve how they serve the clients. And I know they just signed a protocol with the Ministry of Education to put like a line or to put this on, to communicate this to the students for how to the importance of tourism and how to deal with tourists, and so this is very important.
Yes.
And one other thing that they are
raising awareness.
Exactly, raising tourism awareness, exactly. And the other thing is, I also know they started to do is to push on the tourism schools and universities, which are very important to graduate the next generation people who will work in the tourism industry. Tourism industry, it's an industry that needs a lot of people. You know, a hotel.
So we need like what, more universities when it comes to.
Of course, universities, schools. We need more hotels. Definitely, with the numbers that we are witnessing right now, just between 2017 and 2018, we witnessed almost 3 million tourists increase. And in 2019, so far, we almost hit 10 million. So we're expecting
until which month? Until
July.
Until July. Perfect.
So we're expecting to even go to maybe 13 or 14 million this year. So the next year will be more, and the year after. So with this rapid increase in tourism numbers, we need also a rapid increase in tourism
graduates and employees,
hotels and infrastructure and investments. So with all these things, we need staff. We need. So.
Mr. Ahmed, how do you see the exhibitions of antiquities held in Western countries through the Ministry of Antiquities, of course, and tourism, such as the exhibition this was just held in France at Moon? How do you see the importance of such exhibitions?
It's a free publicity to Egypt, and we even get money out of it.
Yeah.
So exactly with the exhibition of King Tut that was in USA and France, and right now in Washington D.C. we have another exhibition. It's called the Queens of Egypt.
Where is it held?
It's Washington.
In Washington D.C.
Yes. It's at one of the museums over there. Queens of Egypt, and
very interesting.
Very interesting. They have all the queens of Egypt since the beginning of Egyptian history, of course, with Nefertiti and Nefertari and Hatshepsut and all these, and even the wives of the famous kings, like the wife of King Cheops and Mycerinus and also. And the amount of the visitors to that exhibition and to the King Tut exhibition, it's amazing. People, they line in at hours just to go and see the pieces inside. And when they go out, all what they think about is, I want to go and see the real thing. So definitely this is one of the best advertising and best promotion ideas for the tourism to Egypt. Definitely, I have to say, it's a great idea. Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Badr, the importance of using communication sites. I mean, social media and so on in promoting tourism? We're talking about unconventional ways. Of course, now social media has become, is one by one becoming conventional. Really, it's becoming the thing. But talk to me about that. Using social media in promoting tourism, how do you see it? How can it play? Is it playing a role? How can it play a more efficient role?
Well, if you talk about I have to say we have to talk about first the professional
Yeah.
social media
Exactly,
people, you know,
exactly.
all the superstars
Yeah.
and influencers and
Or the companies that are using
and the companies
their
and
websites,
the regular
and,
tourists.
Citizens. Yeah.
So of course with the superstars and the influencers, when we had Will Smith, I think it was 2 years ago, with his picture at the pyramids with the Sphinx, that was like a boom, a boost to the tourism.
Another
to
free
Egypt.
publicity. Yeah.
It is Will Smith, you know, and you know, with superstars like
Hollywood
him,
superstar,
it's
of course.
always known that they don't go to a place that is not 100% safe.
Absolutely.
So and that was the same thing with the superstars concerts at the North Coast. They will never go to any place that is not 100% safe.
Absolutely.
And of course the influencers when they come now if you just check all the social media pages that talking about Egypt, you'll find amazing pictures about Egypt. They go all around in Cairo and Luxor and Aswan and everywhere, even in the beaches.
Yeah.
Of course, our biggest ambassador Muhammad Salah,
Yeah.
with his name, and now he's becoming the second most expensive player in the world and one of the best, and so, and they call him the Egyptian king. So all these things definitely they add up to our advertising.
They call him the Egyptian king, they call him the Egyptian pharaoh, they call him lots of names.
Many things, yes.
Mr. Ahmed Badr, wrapping up today's interview on a very optimistic scale, there is no doubt that the Egyptian tourism is close to full recovery. How can we get to what we want to achieve in the tourism sector exactly?
Well, I know it's many things. First of all, we have to spread tourism awareness. People need to know the importance of tourism. People need to know how to treat the tourists. People need to know and continuing the social media thing, a normal tourist, if he comes to Egypt and just post a picture with him for him in Egypt and says I'm happy, he will bring 3 to 5 new clients. And this is, by the way, it's a marketing study.
It's marketing.
Yes. But if he said I'm not happy, he will prevent 25 potential clients. So see the difference. So we need to work on the awareness of the tourism between everybody. I mean, the ones who are working in and the ones who are not working, because tourism is a industry that is having
it enhances
70 other industries.
Yes, and it's the main.
It's the backbone.
Yes,
Exactly, of Egyptian. Yes, and it goes directly to the people.
Actually, and it's the most important sector when it comes to discussing.
We need people to understand this. We need even the government to understand this. We need the government to have tourism investment easier, because, as I said, numbers are increasing. So numbers are increasing, that means we need new things, new services, new everything.
But
new
it's worth to mention actually that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has been going around the tours and has been bringing investments into the country.
Exactly, of
and
course,
he's
yes,
working very hard on this sector and grabbing investors into our country.
Exactly.
But what we ask from here is that we need to facilitate the fact that investors, when they come in, then, as Mohammed said, paperwork is easier, and
this is
they feel that life is peaceful. So
and even for Egyptian investors, you know, even if somebody
when we come to discuss stability in Egypt, of course, Egypt is safe and
100%.
secure and stable. Alhamdulillah.
Well, I have to say it's the most safest place on earth. Well, it's not because I'm
we
Egyptian.
as Egyptians will always live to believe actually, and it's
Well,
the truth actually.
it is.
that Egypt is the safest place
Because
on
I've
earth.
been-
Again,
Yeah,
and
I've been
it's,
to other
it's mentioned in
countries.
the Quran, by the way.
Exactly. I've been to other countries. I don't want to say names, but countries that they known for super security powers, and literally you cannot go out of your home after 9 or 10 p.m. So here we can go out anytime, anywhere.
Yes.
Here it's 24/7. It's
Yeah, it
24.
is.
It never stops. When I
Exactly.
travel abroad, and I spend like a week, it's a holiday. Then I have to go home for I have to go home like at 10 p.m. because everything is closed, and everything is not facilitated. It's not easy to grab what you want easily. You feel that Egypt is really
Well,
we're in heaven actually.
Yeah, well, just very quickly, one of my very dearest friends in the U.S. When she was here, I took her at almost 3 or 4 in the morning to Sayyidah Zainab neighborhood, and we went there and we were walking, and we had a breakfast, and we had a tea on the sidewalk. And she was crazy about Egypt since that. She always comes back. She brings her family. She brings her friends. So it just, again, this is people to people. I show her the people. She saw the Egyptian people, and this is what she loves about Egypt. Sometimes she comes 2 or 3 times a year
Wonderful.
just to be with us, with the people. She loves go around everywhere. Even now when she go around, people know her by name and by face. And
Even if you go to Al Hussein district, or you go to anywhere here in Sayyida Nfisa, anywhere here about in Egypt, you always find it full of
Life.
happiness, full of life, full of everything.
Exactly, it's safe.
I really like, before you wrap up, Rana, I really liked what Mr. Badr said when he said that you always have to keep pace and develop yourself, because everything is changing, and because and when the question, when you posed to Mr. Badr, what do we need to do to fulfill our potential, I wanted to have an answer here, is to say that we will never fulfill our potential, because the potential is endless. Egypt's potential is endless. It's limitless. The sky is the limit for a country that has more than half of the world's monument, for a country that has these people, the Egyptian people, who have this will and this personality and this hospitality. Our potential, I think, Mr. Badr, is limitless. So no matter what we do, there will always be somewhere to go up, because
Exactly.
our potential
Yes.
is simply so huge.
Exactly. You have the monuments, the beaches, the desert, the
Everything.
people,
The weather,
everything.
everything. The safety.
Religious
Yeah.
places, sacred
Yeah.
places, you name
The
it.
tolerance, everything.
You name it.
Everything.
Just we need to plan well. We need training. We need a real good marketing that is, and advertising that is always there, always with the new things, always with the new ideas. This is what the other countries are doing. They make use of everything, even if they have a problem. They turn it to a benefit, to a plus.
Mr. Ahmed Badr, tourist expert, we thank you so much for joining us in today's episode of Nile Cruise. Thank you so much for explaining, of course, the people-to-people initiative which is taking place. Thank you very much for all your knowledgeable information. We thank you so
sir.
much, sir.
Thank you. It's always
Dear
a
viewers,
pleasure.
stay with us. You're still watching Nile Cruise from the Scout Club. Stay with us and don't go away. We'll be back again.